So today we are going to be reacting to an article about the WNBA CBA from Robin Lundberg. Obviously, Robin is somebody that is, in the LWNBA sphere, and go subscribe to his YouTube channel where he is may cover similar topics to me, but is an actual journalist and not an unhinged Irish man just rambling on. But anyway, let's take a listen. So, if the WNBA can't finalize a CBA in the coming days, the players and league risk throwing away the momentum they've gained. Absolutely. And if we're being real, this is not about throwing away momentum. This is a situation where it's like, do you want to do these players want the WNBA to exist? Because there's no world where, look, I do think when it comes down to it, when it comes to the players, if the season is delayed by a couple of weeks, the league doesn't die. If this season doesn't happen, the league doesn't exist. And in my opinion, the league not existing is more of a detriment to the players than is the owners. And that is, for me, that's a fact. I think it's very unlikely because there are a very, very small amount of WNBA players that are going to be relevant without the WNBA brand. And ironically, like Kathy Engelbert saying that the only reason why Caitlin Clark was getting the money she was getting was because of the WNBA. Ironically, she is one of the very, very few that is okay. I think Paige will be okay. I think Angel will be okay. I think Caitlin will be okay. I don't know what the hell Caitlin will do if there's no WNBA. Because I really don't. I don't know if she'll play ball. I think Caitlin Clark has made enough money that I don't think she'll play gimmick ball. I think she likes basketball enough. I think she might just go play with Team USA. I don't think she'll leave America. I don't think a USA-based 5v5 league is going to be there anytime soon. And I think it's done. I think the WNBA is done. I think women's basketball is done. As in a relevant sport. They'll set up some leagues. Unrivaled is going to go nowhere. Like if the WNBA doesn't exist, Unrivaled is going nowhere. But as a relevant sport, as a sport that anyone gives a damn about, that's it, done. If the WNBA is gone. But in Avengers terms, WNBA is an endgame because the league and players are running out of time to reach an agreement that allows for off-season business to be conducted and regular season start on time. The business of February has been reported as a timeline. Beginning of February has been reported as a timeline for a deal that wouldn't jeopardize delaying the campaign, which makes this a crucial period in league history. In fact, Caitlin Clark herself said this about the moment Team USA camp. I think the most important thing myself in thinking about the CBA negotiations, it's the biggest moment WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. Of course, the decision of the WNBA to go into business, as usual, releasing by the 2026 schedule. Season tipped off on May the 8th. It's still an expansion draft, and obviously the draft on April 13th. I'm going to skip through this because if you want to read all this, you can read. Go read the article. This is definitely not a substitute for that. But it says here, the reason the two are at a standoff is the explosive growth they've seen, which directly ties to Clark's arrival. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is the reason why they're at a standoff. Is because of the ratings. It's a result. It's an opportunity for them to secure a big pay increase, and the owners stand to benefit from this historical period. A work stoppage will bring that all interest to a halt. It will. Lads, there were 800 in the third quarter of the first game yesterday. There were 800 people watching on YouTube. I understand that YouTube is only for international, but outside America, there were 800 people watching Unrivaled. 800 in all of the 8-point-something billion people in the world. There were 800. I'm not gonna lie. 18 months ago, I could have hit live on Twitch with no plan and got more viewers than Unrivaled got. And by the way, there's still a lot of American viewers watching it. A lot of people watching it are American. If Paige plays, yes, people will stay up and watch. People will stay up and watch. But there are times where I'm not joking when I say this. There'll be 500 people outside America watching these games. It's embarrassing what has happened in Rivals. But obviously here, saying it couldn't be more important. And Robin's on the money. Robin's absolutely on the money with this. And the fact is that the hype that the WNBA has had is gone. Like, not saying that Caitlin Clark is not incredibly popular, not saying Paige is incredibly popular, not saying Angel Reese is incredibly popular. They've already blown the boom. Like, the boom that happened in 2024, the absolutely crazy boom that is just something that you're like, you would never be able to predict where the WNBA in the summer of 2024 became the most relevant sports league, because there was something new every week. There were so many new fans that people were like, everything seemed new. Like, every time Sophie Cunningham would crash out, or if Brittany Griner got into it with somebody, or if Arike in the All-Star game at 35, so many people who didn't know these players became huge, huge fans, and everything that was seen was new. That was the mania. The mania is done, and they already failed. Like, in terms of cultural relevance, there will never be a point in time where it's as culturally relevant as between April 2024 and September 2024. That's done. But at the same time, like, you can't build a sustainable league off a boom period, because it helped that the NBA was in the shitter. It helped that the NBA draft was the worst draft we'd ever seen, and the only relevant thing at that time was Bronny in the NBA. It helped that all of that was happening. The sport of basketball was in a bit of a disaster spot. The Olympics, basketball, a lot of conversation was around Caitlin Clark. So all of that, I mean this. It's one of those things where you've obviously got a league that needs sustained growth. And the players, ironically, are not trying to secure a payday. They're trying to secure a revenue percentage. I genuinely mean this. If whatever the percentage they want right now, if they got that as a flat salary cap with let's just say a 1% or 5% increase every year, a bit like the NBA, if they got that as a flat salary cap, they wouldn't accept it. It is about, the players don't want more money necessarily. Obviously, it'll come with more money. They want an entire restructure of the league. They want a complete restructure, and basically they want the people that have bankrolled the WNBA for 30 years to restructure the league so that they're going to have to continue to subsidize the league. And that's basically it. And they don't seem to be budging on it. They don't seem to be budging on a situation where the owners and the NBA will continue to subsidize the league indefinitely. Because the only way that the WNBA becomes profitable for the owners, and by the way, not all sports leagues are profitable. The problem is in American sports leagues, they kind of have to be, because these are all investments, they're CBA bullshit. Like if they just made it the Wild West. Like, I would love to see what would happen in an American sports league if they just made it the Wild West. Fuck parity, fuck all of that. If you're incompetently ran teams should not be given the best players. Like, I don't get that in sports. I don't get that. Go where you want. There's no relegation, so players will still choose to go to weak teams. Like, the Sparks and the Wings all both sucked, but like for Paige Bueckers, go to the damn Sparks, significantly better for her career. But because they got unlucky in a damn lottery, like, she went to the Wings. Like, I never understood the American sports system. Like, all it does is improve incompetently ran franchises and give in my opinion, all it does is ruin talented young players by sending them to completely incompetent situations and incompetent franchises. More so than it does for parity. I think it just ruins good players. Either way, that's my rant on that over. But it is so important. It's so important. And the reality is that, like, the WNBA has, Robin's probably on the money, that they probably have about, I would say they have till the 1st of March before they have to start delaying things. I think they can get to the 1st of March because that gives them, because they have everything planned in the background. The schedule is there. Everything's already planned. So if you go 1st of March, you immediately start free agency, because you better believe teams are in conversations with agents about free agency. Teams are in conversations with agents. There's no question about that. So I think 1st of March for free agency would be like, and you go free agency from 1st of March to, actually you couldn't even do that. Let's say start of March. 7th of March is the expansion draft, because let's be real, it takes 48 hours for an expansion draft to be ready, because every single team already has a list of players they're protecting. They've had that for months. And then you go into April or maybe 15th of March to the 1st of April. 15th of March, free agency starts. Because let's be real, free agency started on like the 28th of January or something last year. And then suddenly by the 10th of February, the Indiana Fever had already had their whole team and cooked Katie Lou. Like, so it moves quick. But anyway, yeah, that is the video. I'll see you guys. Shout out to Robin.